Hi everyone, it's Vicky. I'm going to finish up my February journal today, and I'm just working on some ephemera, so I've glued some paper onto the back of this and I'm going to do some inking and some sewing, and I'll just do a few things and I'll put some music on. Okay, so my journal for February is finished. You've seen me making it. So I used a serviette or napkin for the cover, and I dyed the fabric and the paper with avocado pits. It's quite a nice full journal. There's some lace, there's some stitching. It's going like a peachy, pinky, flowery butterfly way. So there's the cover. It's quite nice and soft and pliable. And that's the inside cover. And it's got a little book plate and it says this book belongs to. And here's an envelope. And it's got some stamping, and I've stuck on some butterflies, and I think these were from Artie Mays. And here's a tuck spot here, and it's made with like a postcard. It was an advert. It's got some scrapbooking card on the back, and it's been stitched around. tucks into there, and that's got a little space. That's from a library card. It says author title, a little bit of fabric there, and this was also from an advert. And then this is a nice page of that Avo dyed paper, and this little page here has got a picture on it. It's glued down, and I've put some washi tape on the corners to make it look like you've taped it in. And there's a tiny little envelope at the top, and it's got 2 tags. And that was a piece of music paper. And that music paper had a serviette decoupaged onto it. This is printable paper, and it's from, I can't remember, I'll put the link below. And that's got some stenciling. And this is tea-dyed paper, and I've done a little bit of layering and collage work here. There's a button sewn onto a piece of fabric, and some card and some paper. It's glued down. And this page has a doily stuck on it, and I've put on some butterflies. They were from a serviette, and they've been decoupaged on. And this page was Joyce Meyer. It was a prayer event that we were invited to, and so I've left that because I like those scriptures. And yeah, so that's what that looks like. This page is the Avo dyed, and it's got a bit of printable paper stitched down the edge. I've left the threads on purpose. And this little pocket here is made from an envelope with digital paper and printable paper. And this is from Graphics Fairy, this picture, and I've made it into a little card with a tab, and it's stitched around the edges with some Avo dyed paper. There's another one of those pictures, and I've got washi tape holding it down. Another piece of Avo paper. This was a book page, and it's got a little tab on it. This is a tea-dyed page, and I've glued on some die cuts here. So that die cut was on the edge of a piece of paper, so it was only half a flower, but I think it works quite well there. Could probably stick like something sparkly in the middle. I don't know. I might not. And this was more printable paper, and this has got a giant journaling card. There you go. And this page has been stitched to the page behind it, so it made a pocket. And here's a little label. It's been glued down, and it's got some brads. And this is this lovely soft light paper, and looks like it's feathery. I don't know what it's made of. And I've sewn on a piece of lace, and I've put on a butterfly, and I used Mod Podge, and it just looks like it's part of the paper. You can feel it's firm there, but when you look at it, it just looks like it blends right in. This pocket was also made with an envelope, and it's got 2 tags in it, and it's got a little metal charm that says all you need is love, because I've made this in February, and it's for Valentine's Day. And this tag, I really enjoyed making this tag. It's got some words underneath. I think it might be German, and it's got a flower and a little bit of paper. I really like that. It's pretty. This little pocket that I made, I've stitched around it, and there's some lace and some ribbon. And then this side, I've made a little notepad with paper, and I've sewn it there just to keep it nice and secure. And I've also made it so it's tuck spots. So I glued there and there, and I've tucked another journaling card into there. And I really like this. This was another advert, so I've just glued things over the writing, and then I've glued something on the back, and I've stitched around the edges. And it peeks out the side there, and the label sticks out there. And this page is another Avo dyed paper. I quite liked it when they went a bit weird. So this one's got like strange lines and marks. And this is a doily page, and I've put another label here with some brads. And this is a journaling card, so it's scrapbooking paper that I've glued some paper to the back, and I've stitched around the edge. And tea-dyed paper. a little bit of paper, scraps glued on there, and that is a serviette. And this is a book page with some letters, and this was what I got recently from Maggie, and it's an arrow and it's paperclip. I'll just take it off and I'll show you what I've got in here. So this is a printable envelope, and inside I've put 2 of Artie Maze's little butterflies that could be used in a journal. And then this, somebody gave me a couple of books of wallpaper samples and fabric samples, and so this is from the wallpaper sample book. It was just one of the pages that I've been making into little journaling cards. So I really like that paper. It's cream and it's got like gold sparkles. I've just left it, so the inside is wallpaper and you could write on that. So I put that into this envelope. And I put the arrow on that side because there's not much interest on that side of the page. There's the center of the book, and it is stitched with a pamphlet stitch and some embroidery floss, or possibly this is crochet cotton because it's not separating, so it might be crochet cotton. And put another butterfly on there with decoupage, or with Mod Podge should I say, and this was a die cut of flowers that I put down, and then I was concerned that they were going to not stick properly. There was little edges, so I went over the top with the second layer of this serviette where the butterflies were. So there's a faint shadow of butterflies, and I put that clear layer over the top, so it's made a very subtle soft, it's like washed out that page a bit, and there's like little soft butterflies, and it's kept that dye, all those dye bits sticking down. And this page, I saw this idea and I just changed it to fit for me on a YouTube channel called Bohemian Crafting, something like that. I'll put the link below and you can have a look. So she does something similar. I've just changed it to be what I can use. This is actually an envelope, and I'll make a video of how I did it, but I'll put her link below and you can see how she did it. But it is an envelope that you fold into 3, and you clip those corners. I inked around everything, and then it looks like tickets, and in each one I've put a little card in the journaling cards, so you can write on, and you can also write on all those pages too. And I inked around some of the bits of, some of the edges I inked around in red. I think it was called velvet, or I don't know, something like that. It's the same that I used for the flowers. Yeah, so I really like that. So that one folds like that. So it makes quite a sweet little addition to that page. It does add to the bulk. This page I've glued on a page of butterflies and some lace. And there's the other half of that doily page, and then this is an envelope I made a long time ago, like a year ago, and it's just made from a book page, actually a music book page, so it's got writing but it's actually songs, and there's just bits and pieces in here, and I quite liked how that looked. So that's there. Maybe I'll put it that way. I didn't put a paper clip in here because I felt like it sticks enough. And some more Avo dyed paper, and there's half a doily just onto the top of that page just for some interest. There's another picture of birds and things, and I've put more washi tape to look like I've stuck it down. There's another butterfly on that soft paper. Here's the other half of that pocket page, and it's like a mirror image of the other page, so it's got a giant journaling card. And I quite like this page with the collage work on it, and it's got a bit of fabric and another button and a tab, little bits of papers. And this is my favorite so far. So this I saw on a channel called Junk Journal Ideas or Tutorials. I'll link it below. She did it a bit differently and she folded this top bit down, but I thought I quite like it like this. So it's made of an envelope and I just cut it like a tag. So it's an envelope, you can see inside there. I've cut it like a tag. I've glued paper on the front and the back. Those are from Artie Mays, and I've glued on some fabric. And then I made a journaling card to go inside out of the wallpaper again. See a little bit of that wallpaper writing on the back. That's nice. And I thought that was so fun. So that's the way to use an envelope. So check the link below. And then this one, I decided to move this from the back and put it here. This is a bookmark that I picked up in Oxford at a bookshop when we bought something. And so that goes in there. I've added a little tab because it was falling quite low and I didn't want to lose it in there. And that's book paper, and this is Avo dyed paper. This page is some printable paper there, and it's a library card that I've printed out there. It might be from Nick the Booksmith, and I've used some washi tape just to brighten up the page a bit. I didn't really know where I was going with this page. And this is another picture with some washi tape to hold it down and a little label, and that I've threaded through the tag, that little loopy paper there, is actually an offcut from the wallpaper that I used there. This is paper that's sewn onto the edge of the page. That's a little scrap. This is from Artie Mays and it's glued down. This is a tuck spot and there's a little bit of paper here. That's Avo dyed paper and that is from a notebook. This is another advert. I think it was for roses, and I've glued it onto a piece of paper and I've stitched around it so it goes in there. There's some lace on this page and a bit of paper glued onto the bottom of that page. That has got some Mod Podged serviette and just a few little bits that have been glued onto that page. And this is a bookmark, and this is a journaling card out of scrapbooking paper, and this is a little perfume sample, and it still has a little bit of scent in it, so it makes the book smell nice. And this was a postcard, a printable postcard, and I've put a layer of tissue over the top to soften it because it was very bright, so I wanted the colour a bit softer, so it had a layer of tissue glued over the top. I can't remember if I used Mod Podge, used something. And that's the last page, and here is a journaling card that I made a while ago. It's got a couple of little sequins there. You might not be able to see them, they're clear, but they do sparkle a bit. And there's some more up there, they're on a thread, and some lace, and it's got a stamp on the back, Jane Austen stamp, yeah, and it's tea dyed. And this bag is made of tracing paper, and I've made it to look like a glassine bag, but it's not a glassine bag, it's a tracing paper bag. And I've put a little serviette cut out of a butterfly on there. So that is my, and this little pocket here has a label on it, and that is my February journal, and I'm happy with it. It looks really fun, it's quite full, and it smells nice because of that perfume sample. Thanks for watching, bye.